I'm the Big LG Doc Gallows, and you're watching the Wrestling Junkies. Boom.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Mr. Cincinnati. Podcast dad, son of a bitch, is still on his vacation for one more day, but he will be back tomorrow night as we return to Body Slam at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope that you guys can join me. But nevertheless, I've been sick. I'm finally feeling better. I want to talk some wrestling, so I couldn't not do an episode today, and I couldn't not have this guest I'll be introducing here in a couple of minutes. But before I do, the fact checkers in the chats, happy Tuesday to you as well, sir. Good to see you. Thank you to everybody joining us tonight. As always, you can find us on X, TikTok, and Buzzer at Junkies Pod. Like us on Facebook. Follow us over on Instagram at Wrestling Junkies Pod. But most importantly, please do us a huge favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell one person what we're doing around here. We're having a lot of fun, and we got a nice big table back here, so pull up a seat. There's plenty of room. Tell your mom, your dad, your therapist, your bartender, sneaky link, backshot buddy, doesn't really matter who. Hit that notification button so you know what we got going on. And shout out to our friends at Turnbuckle, easily one of the fastest growing communities we have in wrestling right now. If you want rundowns of Raw, SmackDown, PLEs before the shows actually happen, make sure to sign up for that Turnbuckle Gold Patreon and join the Discord server. And shout out to our friends at The Scrap. You can give them a follow at The Scrap News. With SummerSlam coming up, there's a lot of great content coming. So if you like to read it every once in a while and want something to go with your morning coffee, this is the place to do it. But you guys have heard me talk enough. It's time to introduce my guest tonight. He's somebody that we've had the pleasure of having on the Wrestling Junkies podcast before, and we've gotten to watch him grow over the last couple of years. Actually, the last time that he was on this show was April of 2024. So we were still very, very brand new to interviews and live streaming, but a lot has changed, not just for us. He has wrestled everywhere from Hood Slam during WrestleMania week to the NWA, RVA Pro, Viral Pro, TBD, and so many more. He has refined everything, his presentation, his physique, his mindset, and he's become one of the most polished independent wrestlers on the scene today. But if you followed Drew Hood for any amount of time, you know that this journey has always been about more than championships and bookings. He's spoken openly about how pro wrestling has given him his life purpose, and now he's trying to give something back to wrestling. His mission is to bring what he calls necessary evil back to professional wrestling reality. So joining us once again, please welcome the handsome devil, Drew Hood. Drew, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Honestly, that intro might have just been the whole interview. I think you pretty much covered all of our bases. I don't even know if I have anything else. Like that just pretty much, yeah, I did all that. That's what I'm doing. Thank you. Have a good one. In all seriousness, I am doing, honestly, in a pro wrestling sense, this is peak. That is the short form of it. This has been the best year of my career so far, or tenure, or whatever your verbiage would be for that. But this has been a good one. It's been when you said April 2024, my mind just exploded. God, that's right. Time has gone that quickly. That is wild. I'm doing phenomenal. How about yourself?
Dude, I love it. I wanted to make sure that I got that because I also thought it couldn't have been that long. And I was just kind of getting my notes together. I'm like, yeah, I was thinking, 2025, maybe something around the Rumble. So I couldn't remember. And then when I actually, threw it in my calendar just to see if it would pop up. I'm like, oh man, that is way longer than I thought it would have been. But no, things are good here, man. I mean, I'm not here to get myself over. It's time to talk about you, man. It's been, over 2.5 years since you were here. Looking at that Drew and this Drew, what's the biggest one between the guy then and one sitting with me tonight?
Well, the hair for one thing, that has grown.
That's a big one now.
I don't remember if I was fully blonde by that point, but I was definitely blonde at one point in time, so that's gone. I am in way better physical conditioning. Not that I was not in shape back then, but I'm definitely I'm a big guy now. Big Travis, big muscles, the whole 9 yards. Presentation is way different. I used to be the prince of sports entertainment, and my mission was to spread that kingdom across the land and so on and so forth. Now, I'm the handsome devil himself, and I bring necessary evil. What is that necessary evil? I'd like to think overarchingly, traditionalism back into professional wrestling. Whatever that means to you, it's up to you to interpret. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Who's to say? But ultimately, that paired with the litany of opponents and new shows and new states and everything else, it has been a that's just like whiplash. It's been a wild 2 years. It has been a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but a lot of ups for sure.
Dude, I mean, and that's the thing is, I mean, we, see everything you're doing on social media and we keep up with it. And we're certainly not surprised at any of the success that you've had over the last couple of years by any stretch. But I'm curious, I mean, again, with everything that has leveled up since the last time you were on the show, I mean, was there a specific moment of, if I'm going to do this, I need to look and feel like somebody that's going to be on national television, or, take me behind the motivation?
It's funny that you bring this up. So the other day I put on my Instagram notes, the Instagram is a handsome devil DH. I don't remember if there's any underscores in there, but hey, go follow me, Drew Hood. I'm the only famous Drew Hood on the planet. So like, if you Google me, I'm there. I put on my Instagram notes, hot take, because it said, what's your hot take of the day? I said, well, hot take, we're not as TV ready as we think we are. Because back 2 years ago, whenever we did this interview, I thought for sure I was TV ready. I thought, I've got a pretty good look and I've got all this flamboyance about me in eccentric qualities. I have the gear, I have the entrance, I have like XYZ, right? I thought I checked all the marks, all the boxes. And then when that year ended and nothing came, I said, oh, okay, maybe I have to workshop some things and start to work on myself in different aspects and so on. But then 2025 rolled around, and that's where it started changing a little bit more, because there were some people in very high places that were telling me that what I was doing was good, but it was a little generic and it wasn't exactly something that they could put on TV and it would fit in where, the rest of the top stars of the world are. And I said, okay, hurtful, but good. Constructive criticism. It's going to hurt, but you need to hear it. So that was why last year was more of, let's turn this up a little bit and let's move some pieces around. So I really started to think about, who is Drew Hood at heart, or at soul, if he has one? Who is Drew Hood really, truly? And I started to realize that while being an eccentric, loudmouth, obnoxious, and so on, the generic thing, I really realized that if you know me outside of professional wrestling, I'm a very private person. I'm very to myself. Some would say intense. Some would say I kind of have an RBF. Some people would say that I'm someone that may be approachable, and I seem like I'm very much so someone that right now in this interview, I'm very approachable. I'm like, oh yeah, he's a friendly guy. But if you saw me in public, probably wouldn't think that. You'll probably think, oh, probably hates everybody. So I started to think, there's a little bit of a bitter, jaded nature to me when it comes to professional wrestling, because back at that point and during a lot of last year, I thought, why not me? Why are other people getting opportunities? Why are other people getting put in these positions? Why am I not at the forefront of the conversation? Yeah. So that slowly turned into what this year has been, which this year has been just full throttle, take that gear shift and crank it and just go full send. And the payoff has been incredible. The payoff has been exactly what I foresaw, but I'm sure a lot of people were looking at it and going, whoa, overnight success? What is this? And it's like, it wasn't, because I am going to be 8 years this August in my professional wrestling journey. That's not very overnight. That's a long time to really try and iron out the details and make things work. Yeah. But just something this year just clicked for me, and I said, I think I got something. And ever since the beginning part of this year, where I did publicly, and there may or may not have been some truth to it, and there may or may not still be truth to it, did put out in, I think it was an Instagram reel, TikTok, it was something, just social media in general. Yeah. This may or may not have been my last year as a professional wrestler, because there was a lot of frustration. There was a lot of like, dude, I just need one chance, one freaking chance. And it just wasn't coming my way. And then over the past several months, it's been very much so me saying, maybe I just create it for myself. Maybe I just make myself a brand and make myself a big name and make myself the topic of conversation, whether positive or negative. Maybe I just have to do it by myself. So,
yeah, I mean, when look at guys like Richard Holiday, look at guys like Ben Bishop, a Bear Bronson, like Affy, another great example of opportunity. You have to take. You can't always wait for it to come to you. You gotta do what you can to get the attention on you. I mean, I think that you've done that extraordinarily well. Again, level up not just the look, but I mean the overall presentation. I mean the initial kind of storytelling of your thoughts on professional wrestling and the reality that needs to be injected back to it. I mean, this is just again much more confident, polished, well dressed. Much more well-dressed presentation than we kind of seen over the last couple of years. And dude, I mean, again, hats off to you, because the work has paid off. I mean, this year you found yourself working Mania week, and that was not necessarily on your bingo card at the moment. So how did Hood Slam come about, man?
So that is a tale as old as time, ladies and germs. That is, I was in a car with other people just hanging out. They said, we're going to go to this show. And then we're going to go to this show, and it was Hood Slam. And I said, oh, cool, that'll be fun. So I was there, and I was just shooting the breeze with a couple people that I just happened to run into. And panickedly, people come up and go, did you bring your gear bag? I'm like, yeah, it's in your trunk. And they said, grab it. And I said,
all right.
So we grabbed it, came back inside, and I was like, what am I doing? They said, you are tagging with Cheeseburger against Shug D and Anton Voorhees in a blindfold tag team match. I said, cool. So I started getting dressed, and they said, oh, yeah, and your match is in like 20 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, great. So I just started putting all that on, listen, shut up, listen, the usual, and went out there and did the deal. That was one of my favorite matches I have ever had, and it was so dumb, and it was so pro wrestling, and I freaking love it. If you go watch it. No words can really do it justice. Everyone just needs to go watch. Like that whole event, it was the world's worst show of Mania, or world's worst Mania week show, something along those lines. It was so good. It was just indie wrestling at its best worst. It was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, like those shows with names like that always stick out to you. As far as worst Mania show, I think Action did. We gambled away the graphics budget. Just kind of leaning into again the depending on which side of the fence you're on, the exorbitant nature of ticket prices in WWE, going to events and being able to enjoy the indies. But I mean, dude, that's again the switch of the mindset. Who knows if that's leading to that opportunity? But even since then, there's continued to be more. I mean, look, NWA is kind of as making their presence known again, not just within their promotion, but the other territories that they're working around, Carolinas and Tennessee and things like that. And you've gotten to take your talents over there as well. I mean, now that you're kind of firmly in the mindset and you've seen the change, for other people that may kind of be navigating that sort of crossroads in their career, what would you encourage them to do? What would you encourage them to think? How do you want them to kind of dig into this mindset and find their own handsome devil mentality where they can?
I think the shortened version, the one that would take the next couple seconds to say, is get out of your own way. And basically, like, long form of that is you're gonna have to step on toes. You're gonna have to do things that you may think are, ooh, maybe that'll make somebody upset, or ooh, I don't know, is that really gonna just, who cares? Like, you just get out of your own way and just do it. Just post more of yourself. You have to, like, my Twitter game is pretty weak. I can admit that. Jordan Blade, and close friend of mine, she dogs on me constantly. She dunks on me and says, your Twitter game is horrible. I'm like, I know, I understand. I haven't found what my niche in Twitter is. I'm trying. But like TikTok has been growing, Instagram's been growing, Facebook has been growing. Like, it's a social media game. So like that is another thing. You have to invest in social media. It's a clout-based era in professional wrestling and independent wrestling. You can be the most talented son of a gun in the ring, but it doesn't matter if you have like 10 followers. They don't care. Like, it's like, oh, cool, you do an amazing 450. How many followers do you have? Irrelevant. Who cares? Next. That's just the nature of the beast, right? speaking back to this whole like, oh, I'm trying to bring necessary evil and traditionalism back into professional wrestling. I'm doing so, I feel like, with internet clout and with building my own brand, but I'm still bringing it with like, hey, and here's my brand of old school that I love so very much, and pushing it to the forefront as much as I humanly can, while also keeping a new school flavor and twist to it, because wrestling evolves just like everything else, and it goes in cycles. So you got to get with the times. So get out of your own way, and you just have to be adaptable. You have to be able to mesh with all different styles. You can't just say, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm sticking to it. Because if you do that, you're looked at as hard-headed, stubborn, and impossible to work with. And if you're impossible to work with, you're a bad hang. And if you're a bad hang, no one wants to be with you. And nobody wants to bring you in. Nobody wants you in the locker rooms, man. Get out of your own way when it comes to, oh, God, there's so much. There's so much. It's just basically, you are your own worst enemy when it comes to pro wrestling, because a lot of people, this is another thing, don't be so detrimental to yourself. Do not publicly disgrace yourself. Do not publicly go around and say, oh, I'm horrible, come watch me at the next show. Because if you're going to say stuff like that, there's going to be like, well, why are people going to want to come see you? You know, like, I get it, self-deprecating humor is in, and everybody loves doing that. Keep that behind the scenes. Don't do that publicly. Because if you're bashing your own brand publicly, who's going to pay for you? Who's going to come watch you? God, there's just so much. There's just so many things I could keep talking and going on about. And I don't want people to think I don't do this or haven't done this. I did at one point in time. This is me speaking from experience. This is me telling you I'm a hypocrite at the end of the day, because I did all of this, right?
Yeah.
But change has to happen. You got to be able to evolve with the times. You got to be able to evolve yourself. Someone told me recently, and I actually really appreciated this, that they saw me as a Jericho of sorts, a Chris Jericho of sorts, where I see how the times are moving and I adapt what I'm doing to fit in with what's going on, while still kind of staying true to who I am as a character, personality, or and just moving along with the times that way. And they were like, you just, and you adopt your style to whatever the style that's in, but you still keep your flavor with it. And I said, great. Because Chris Jericho is definitely one of those guys that I look to for inspiration in terms of that, like, especially like, going from Lionheart to the cruiserweights and WCW to Y2J, and he just keeps going. It just keeps evolving with the time. So you just have to be able to move with everybody else, move with the winds of change. God, I could have a whole podcast dedicated to this is what you all need to do. Stop being in your own heads. Oh, last thing. You know what? Last one.
Dude, we have all the time in the world, man. Last
one. Get out of your own bubble. This one is one that makes me mad. This one will get me heated. I used to have my own bubble, very much so, where I would just like, it would be me and whomever else right here. We would kiss each other's ass. We would be like, oh yeah, we're so good. We're this, we're that. We should be signed. We were TV ready. We should pop that bubble and realize that wrestling is here.
Yeah.
Here. You cannot just be isolated in this one little minute bubble. You have got to be everywhere. You've got to be in way more locker. If you're the best in your locker room, that means you're a big fish in a small pond. Move on. Go find another place. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to find another locker room where you are now the smallest fish and you have a lot to learn. And then when you grow into the biggest fish in that pond, you move on to the next one. So that one gets me sometimes, where I feel like we get comfortable in our own little circles, and we're like, I don't feel like hearing anything negative today. Worship me for how good I am on the microphone. Worship me for my promos. Worship me for my in-ring ability. But that's not helping you. What is going to help you is hearing from people in high places, like I do constantly, hey, this was good. Here's the laundry list of stuff of why you suck. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah. I'm going to work on all those things to make sure I go from good to great and from great to amazing. So that is my last bit of advice for people.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think another kind of layer that is just as important as all of that is self-awareness. And you don't know what you don't know, and I think, and certainly every talent is different as far as what that evolution of a character looks like. Like I said, when since you've been on the show a couple of years, like we've seen all of these changes, and they seem like much more of a maturation of the guy who was on the show a couple of years ago. And then I think about Bear Bronson, Iron Savage with AEW, and a bit of a comedy gimmick. But then this year, past year, he goes and reinvents himself on the deathmatch circuit, and an entirely different beast. Maturation. I see kind of that same thing with Richard Holiday, as far as just adding additional layers to what he had already built. So yeah, I think self-awareness is key, and then also again, every talent's different, but it may either be a maturation or a complete reinvention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's just talk a little bit about what you've had going on this summer. I mean, you've competed for the NWA World Television Championship. I mean, you've had Viral Pro, you've had TBD Wrestling, RVA. What have been some of your summer highlights?
The NWA Hard Times 6. So full disclosure, Hunter James and myself, we were the ticket seller pre-show match. So the very first match that anybody else saw. They said that the main show started at 8, though. We were supposed to go on about like 7:40, 7:45. We actually started the show at 8. So my my argument is that Hunter James and I opened Hard Time 6 because we went on at 8 p.m. I'm just saying, hands up, that is exactly what happened. So I say we opened the show. I say we were part of the show,
the average primetime bell time is about 8 p.m. So I'm not hearing anything that
just metrics and data points.
Yeah.
That's just so that was an incredible experience. Getting to work in front of that entire locker room and then come back through the curtain and just hear it was like 95% praise and just a lot of great, you move great. This is where, hearkening back to that whole we're not TV ready as we think we are, I had matured to a point where when I got back there, it was a lot of, you've worked television before, right? Because the way you were working towards the cameras and the way you were positioning yourself and the way you were doing this, and this, that was, you've worked it before, right? No, but that shows that I know, like, this is where I want to be, and this is how I need to get there, and this is what I need to do to work to get there. So hearing that, pretty validating. So the whole event was just a phenomenal experience, and getting to watch and learn, and not even just the matches of the wrestling itself, but production and music and how hectic everything is and how all these, it was just an incredible experience overall. Very, very needed. The following day was the NWA on Tour House show where I wrestled Misery for the NWA World TV title. Amazing. I've competed for an NWA championship. That is mind-blowing. That is amazing. That is also an accomplishment. Did I win? No. But I did get to compete for the championship. So that is in of itself incredible. This summer was also my birthday. I turned X amount years old. If you can find it, go for it. That is perfectly fine. I am definitely older than I look. I'll just put it that way. But I got to celebrate my birthday and have a lot of reflection. It was a lot of what we've been talking about, where the past few years have been like weird, but in a very, very good way, in a very, very trending upward kind of way, where I was like, maybe I do still have some gas left in the tank to bring back up, at the beginning of this year where I was like, maybe I don't wrestle anymore. And now I'm thinking, I got a few more years at the very least, probably, maybe, definitely. This past Saturday, I do want to expound upon. Of
course, absolutely.
That was RVA Pro Wrestling. That was the biggest show of the year. That was the biggest show they've ever had. It was at Dogwood Dell. It was essentially the RVA Pro WrestleMania. And the turnout, the number that is publicly announced right now is 4,000. That is a crap ton of people. It was a mixture of, to be fair, to be open, it was a mixture of the Dogwood Arts Festival. So it was a lot of people that had come last year. I think they had about 2,500 people at the one last year. And it was, an arts festival and vendors and everything else. And there's an amphitheater where the wrestling happened. So people can file in and they'll come off the streets and all around, and they'll, sit on the cool little stone benches and chairs and everything else, bring their own chairs, lawn chairs and everything else. And they'll watch. And the show last year was so successful, they brought us back for this one. Now, I missed the one last year because I was already previously booked, and they asked me a couple days in advance because there was a cancellation. I was a man, and still am a man of my word in terms of bookings, unless it is like the biggest opportunity of all time. If I have independent wrestling booking and then I get hit up, hey, you have a tryout coming up in 2 days. Is that cool? Hey, deuces, and then I would go
Yeah.
do that. However, if it's independent wrestling, I'm a man of my word. I will stick to the booking that I have previously agreed to, unless something egregious happens, something better happens, or so on and so forth. So when I missed the event last year and saw how successful and big it was, I said, hey, promoters, give me the date for next year. And like, that's already set apart. Like, I don't care if it's 7-8 months in advance. I'm going to need to know when that date is. I am not taking another booking unless it's that one. So in January, they gave it to me. I said, cool, be there. I'm sick or dead, I will be there. And the turnout was almost like time and a half, almost double what it was last year. It was absolutely insane. It was I'll put it to you like this. If and when I never make it to like the big leagues or WrestleMania or like an All In or anything of that nature, right? That was 4,000 people where I got to make a specialized entrance and then have a match with Terry Sequoia, the Flip, Terry Sequoia, who mind-blowingly good for being only a couple years in the business, and it pisses me off how good he is. It's annoying to a point, but like I full support. He's great. He's special. He'll be everywhere within a short period of time. There's no doubt in my mind, and there's no doubt in anyone's minds. You'd have to be pretty blind to understand how special this kid is. But to get a match with him that had been built up for an entire year to get to that point, that was a WrestleMania for me. Especially with how high of a quality of the match was. Man, we were smack dab in the middle of the card. I had a chip on my shoulder. I was out for blood that day. I was like, yeah, we're gonna work hard. We're gonna do pretty much everything that we can. And by the end of it, coming to the back, you can just feel it, right? You just feel it in your bones and in your skin. You're just like, yeah, that was it. I honestly could have just quit and I would have been fine, to be perfectly honest with you. I was like, yeah, I could easily see myself being like, yep, yeah, that was good. That was good enough. Obviously still hungry and still wanting to like push for more, and I'm going to still keep working, but it was so good. And to hear from a very validating source, we'll just put it that way, a very validating source that we look like TV stars and they may or may not work for a certain television company. Pretty big deal.
Are we sure it wasn't Val Pancakes?
It was not Val Pancakes, but I love Val. Val's great. Hi, Val.
She's the best.
But no, it was truly my WrestleMania so far. Was this past Saturday, so that was incredible. That was my RVA 5 minutes of I love them. Home away from home. We'll always support them. They were nice. Yeah, that was pretty up there in terms of match and quality and show. So A+. And
love it.
And I could also go for 30 minutes on support for TBD Wrestling out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. TBD is... Dude,
shout them out. This is. Let's just do some rapid fire of promotions that have been your favorites. Let's start with TBD.
TBD, they are the platform for the island of misfit toys, and the way I can word it is like they are guys that look at the talent like myself, like last year, who they felt like weren't given the platform to succeed. They weren't really given any sort of like they were known, but it wasn't like oh yeah, they have potential, let's put them on. It was more like, oh yeah, we know who they are. Period, end of story. And then they just move on. And it's like that doesn't help anybody. Like, you know, like what do you mean? Like, you know who I am, but you're not willing to give me a shot. So they have amazing footage. Phoenix Nitro, Bojack, Tyler El Guapo, like they are. They're all part of the Goon Squad, but like, you know, we'll just go ahead and wave that name out to the side for a second. They are TBD Wrestling is special in that, as we're all very, very aware on the independents, Deadlock Pro Wrestling closed its doors, or whether it's the time being or permanently remains to be seen. Yeah, and a lot of people, to a lot of our annoyance, said, the indies are dead. No, the hell they aren't. No. No, the hell they aren't. There's so many great independent wrestlers and great independent wrestling companies. But TBD was one of those ones that took that and said, okay, bet. And they started to pour even more and more into what they present as a product. And it's becoming an undeniable product. It's Adult Swim meets ECW is like a short form description of it. And it is it's phenomenal. And there's people there who I feel don't get as spotlight as they should. And then they walk through the doors at TBD, and when they perform, it's like TBD confidence. Like they're just completely different performers, and you just go, "Where's that guy? Like, why don't we see this guy or this gal or this non-binary pal more? Like, what do we? I would love to see them featured more and showcase more. Like, what do we? Why aren't they?" And then you look at where they come from. Maybe they come from like a Midwest scene or like like more Southern scene or anything of that nature, and maybe it's just like a case of they just need to get out. They found TBD and they're able to thrive. And it has provided a lot of pretty good opportunities for people because, again, the footage is real good. Footage is real good. Matches, really, really good. Stories, really, 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 really good. So TBD on the up and up. It's been slowly building over the past year. I think next show in August I will not be a part of, but it is promised to be a huge monumental event, as they do. And man, there's just so many promotions I could yell like rapid fire and say like, this is home. I love all these guys, but genuinely speaking, I'll just sum it up like this. If you have given me the platform, the opportunity to do so, to show that, yes, the handsome devil himself and, the necessary evil and all of that other beautiful, super long, overly long shtick, you could show me that I do have the ability to do what it is I know I can do. Thank you. Because the investment from promoters is what makes us able to show, indie wrestlers got it, so we are very appreciative for people that give us those kinds of platforms.
First thought, I think guy, gal, or non-binary pal is probably the coldest line that's been dropped on this show in 3 fucking years. So hats off to you there.
I think, who was it? It was a Chance Riser, I think he was a North Carolina based guy. He was a phenomenal wrestler. He was at one point called the Millennial Chance Riser. Him and Patrick Scott tagged at DPW for a bit. They might have been the first ever tag champions, if I'm not mistaken. But Chance dropped that line, and it's been locked in for the past 6 years, man. Like, I couldn't get it out. I said, that's a great line. I like that. Yeah. So I use it whenever I can.
Yeah, and second thought, and this goes back to something that our pal Shug D said. He was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about, again, the claim that independent wrestling is dying or is dead or it's on its last legs, and he kind of gave the analogy of, when you look at kind of, a giant, skyline of incredible buildings, like look at that, use your WWEs, your AEWs, but all of that's being held up by the foundation underground, and that's independent wrestling. Like those, you don't necessarily have those companies, or at least they're not as strong as they, would be without independent wrestling and independent talent, being part of those shows, not just, working a way to hopefully get signed there. But I mean, even looking at, look, last night on Raw, there were, 4 or 5 guys that I've seen work, shout out to Matthias. That was one of the security guards in that Hell in a Cell segment. You never know what, working an independent show, you never know what promotion is going to create that opportunity for you. That just, I mean, so for people to just write it off, I just never really understood that.
I don't quite get it either. I would love to expound upon it. I would love to pour my thoughts into it, but it's just one of those, it feels like an asinine comment to make, and it just feels like maybe the popular thing to say to get everybody to agree with you or something.
Yeah.
Along those lines. But for us, we know it's not, because, for example, AML Wrestling out of North Carolina, I've gotten the opportunity to really cement myself there. And I would say that draw for draw, the biggest promotion out of the Carolinas, because they're drawing 800 people minimum. Like, there's usually like an average of 1,000 people at these shows. The online presence is something that they are currently working on the quality of production, like moving from streaming services and things along that, things of that nature. But how can you say indie wrestling is dying when an independent promotion is drawing 1,000 people? Like, that's where my brain goes, what do you mean? Like we just talked about with RVA, I just performed in front of 4,000 people. What do you mean we're dying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I think it's a lack of research and a lack of exploration. I think it really just boils down to, you only follow this one indie person, and then when they get signed, it's like, well, the indies are dead because my favorite got signed. It's not how it works. It's not how it works at all. Like, Deadlock, Prestige, and other places, unfortunately, like closing their doors.
Mm-hmm.
that's your favorite promotion, I understand why you would be sad.
Yeah.
When they close their doors, there's like 40 other promotions within that scope, within that area.
Yeah.
They're drawing well. They have good wrestlers. They have some of your local wrestlers that were on those shows too. So it's baffling to me. It's very, very, like you were saying, it's confusing. It's very, like, I don't know if you're saying that to rage bait us, because you will get a reaction out of people like myself, because I will advocate for independent wrestling until I am gone, because this is where the most creative wrestlers really thrive. This is where we get to push our own stories. This is where we get to push our best selves. This is where we are untethered. We don't have a leash. We don't have anything really withholding us. We are able to do as we do. And that's something to call back on the evolution of me from the Prince to the handsome devil himself. That's where I really realized I was doing a lot of what other people were telling me to do. And this past year, going into this year, has been a lot of, this is what I want to present. This is how I view myself as money. And in doing so, wouldn't you believe it, having my own creative headspace and my own personal brand built under the guise of what I think makes money has put me in the position I'm in. Mind-blowing facts. But again, to say the independents are dying is asinine, ASA 10, ASA 11, and 12, 13, and 14, and so on. There's really no proof of that. It's just unfortunate social media babble that people just buy into because they just want to be a part of the conversation. That's my own personal opinion on it.
That's fair.
Factoid or truth. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. IWTV is $9.99 a month, everybody out there, by the way. There's also the Hot Tag app, which I believe that's one of our friends at New Texas Pro Wrestling has helped develop. It is a location-based app that helps you to find independent wrestling in your area and even points you in the direction of getting tickets. So at Hot Tag app on X, I think is what that is. My AEW's also got a bunch of cool shit on there now too. Like it's, and especially, you know, I don't know if you're keeping up with the build to SummerSlam, but it's been really fucking frustrating in a lot of respects that, you know, I'm going to watch the show, but I also am keeping an eye on everything else that's going on this weekend as well, because there's, you know, when one company is kind of not loving their creative right now, I'm going to go see what else is out there and what's worth checking out, you know? Yeah.
I believe that there's probably a 50-50 reaction on that sort of thing where it's like, there's an oversaturation of wrestling because there's so many options. But then there's a lot of us who are like, dude, there's so much wrestling. Isn't that the whole point? Like, I remember back in the day when I was in middle school, couldn't wear shirts like this because if you were seen as a wrestling fan, you were seen as a loser. Like, if you were
been there.
You were the worst. Like, you're a scumbag. Like, how dare you like wrestling? Like, that's so dumb. That's so lame. And you're like, okay, so I have to be a closeted wrestling fan? Cool. But now we live in an era where there's so much wrestling and you can be like, there's funny wrestling, there's deathmatch wrestling, there's technical wrestling, there's morality play wrestling, there's sports entertainment still. There's so many different options and so many different flavors in this ice cream shop. Why are you just like, not you specifically, obviously, Eric, obviously not you as a consumer going for the same flavor if it's bitter to you and you hate it? Why do you keep going? There's like 32 other flavors. Go down the line. Go find something else that you think is better, like maybe sweeter or saltier or fruitier or something. Like, just get out of your own way. Oh my God, call that. Get out of your own way. Go find something that makes you happy. Like, why are we living to be miserable? Why would anyone want to do that?
Along those lines, some people need to tweet less. It just is what it is. It's
just saying.
You know. Well, Drew, it's great to have you sit back down. It's been fucking ages since I got to talk to you, so appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me while the podcast is on vacation.
Hey, you know what? I'm the de facto podcast host from here on out. Co-host. I'll just hop on here whenever that's necessary. I think that'd be funny. I'll take his job.
Okay, I can't let him hear you that you said that, but you know,
I'm kidding.
I keep your resume on file. It's cool.
Don't sue me.
Oh man, appreciate you coming on. But before we wrap up tonight, where can everybody find you on social media? What do you got coming up? Where can we follow you?
Oh Lord, August is huge. You know what? I had my birthday a few weeks ago, like I mentioned. I won't say what my age is. My calendar for bookings is not in here. It's up on my wall, up on this calendar over here, paper calendar.
I like it.
I love it. I love it because I can see it. I don't have to pull it up. I can just look and say,
yep.
I'm a lot busier than I thought I was. I thought August was going to be slow, and now I'm looking. I'm like, oh, never mind. I'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina this Sunday for Pro Wrestling Hype. Next Tuesday, super cool match graphic. I will be wrestling St. Julius at Firestar Pro Wrestling's Afterburn, which is like their let's say in-house tapings of sorts. So it's going to be the Saint versus the Devil. Right itself. Beautiful work.
Yeah.
Got Free Flow Wrestling making its debut show on August 7th. It's going to be phenomenal. All you got to do is look up Free Flow World, and you'll see that the Bust and the Brain are going to be there. You're going to see Daz Black in a match with myself and Tyler Jackson in a triple threat. Daz Black, a British-based wrestler who just had a WWE tryout. What? Junie Underwood versus Manny Lowe. What? There's so many good matches on this show. Viral Pro Wrestling has its 10-year anniversary show. Viral Pro Wrestling presents Infection 10, something along those lines. Big anniversary show, another WrestleMania type show. Probably going to have to do another WrestleMania type entrance. Dust off the old theatric chops. I got a match. It's a fatal four-way defense for my heavyweight championship against John Davis, Darius Lockhart, and Alexander Lev. I predict I will need a lot of Tylenol the next day. Ground Zero in Charlotte, North Carolina once again on August 14th. And then Apple City Championship Wrestling, which is home for me, on August 15th. I will be in a tag team match with my tag partner, Kay Omari, trying to figure our way out here, because that's the first time we're teaming together. He said me. So we're gonna try and see if we can win this number one contendership and go on to win tag team gold. Sounds good to me. I've been missing some, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment on August 16th. Atlanta AWE is very underground vibe, but it's very indie vibe. I very much so enjoy working there. I basically happened upon the booking back in April, kind of like a lot of bookings actually back in April. Mania week. I just kind of happened upon it. They've got Carly Bravo is I believe going to be at that show in September. Eddie Kingston is going to be on the show. Like, AWE, be on the watch out. They're building themselves back up. It's beautiful, and I'm very, very grateful to be a part of that journey. RVA, I'll be back August 21st. I think that is at Hardywood in Richmond, Virginia. Those tickets sell out within like 2 days, so I would grab them as soon as humanly possible. And then Firestar Pro Wrestling has its Mania show. God, we're all doing this during the summer. Its Mania show on August 29th, Wrestle Revival. If you look at the poster and look at Firestar Pro Wrestling, you'll look at this poster and go, oh my God, Ricky Sosa, Bang Bang Sosa is going to be there. Alan Angels is going to be there. We have all these other talents that are going to be there. A Cappuccino Jones is going to be there. It's loaded. Huge. Buy tickets. Use my discount code, Drew Hood. One word. And then I'll be back at AML on August 30th, and that will be my final booking of August. I know I just ran through like a bunch of different ones. Replay it if you really want to find out where I'm at. There somewhere.
Love it. And I believe it's at Handsome Devil DH on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I had it off the top of my fucking head, but your Insta does have the underscores in it. Handsome _ Devil. Yeah.
I was like, oh God, hold on. All right. I just looked up Drew Hood Wrestler, and if you look up Drew Hood Wrestler, oh God, it's bright. Oh God, no.
Yeah, wait. That's.
Hold on. Old man alert. If you look, there you go. See, you can kind of see it. Like, I'm all over.
There it is. Yeah.
So like, you just look up Drew Hood on Google. I'm literally everywhere. So yeah, like I said, I'm the most famous one.
Cool. Hey, no lies detected. It's good to see you, and let's. It won't be 2 years next time we have you on. So it's great to catch up with you. Appreciate you jumping to that, man.
Absolutely, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you again to my guest, Drew Hood, and thank you all for joining me tonight. Podcast Dad will be back tomorrow. I promise. You can catch us over on Body Slam at 7 Eastern. SummerSlam's coming up. We got a lot of shit to talk about. We haven't talked about that Kenny Omega heel turn yet. So, tune in, pull up a seat. There's plenty of room at the table. Like, share, and subscribe, but that's going to do it for me tonight. For the Handsome Devil, Drew Hood, I'm Mr. Cincinnati. This has been the Wrestling Junkies podcast. And until tomorrow, enjoy those grabs.